Alright, I now have all the different elements that I'm going to need for my project imported from my Photoshop document. So the very first thing I'm going to do is lock the background. That way we can't interact with it any. And we definitely do not want to move anything accidentally. You really want to make sure that your designs are precisely created in Photoshop before you bring them into Catalyst. Anyway, we can begin by making our components. Our basic components that we have here on the home page are the buttons that we're going to interact with. So I know that Biography is going to be one of the buttons. And if I click and drag a box around it, you'll see the text and then the up state and the normal state are all selected. So I can convert all of that to a button component. Now I can go into the component by clicking on the HUD or double clicking on the button itself, and the up state is going to be normal and the over state is going to be the blue. Now let's go to project 1. Now I can go to paintings and do the exact same thing. So the normal state is going to be what it is now. Let's make that a button. We can go to the up state and change it to the blue. Change it off of the blue. So then we have the over is blue right there. Alright, I do want to check out one thing. There's this state called disabled, and I'm wondering if I can disable it at a certain place. Such as if I'm on Biography, I can click on the disabled and it will turn whatever is the color that's under disabled. And that's going to be a nice feature of that button as well. The next thing we've got are the arrows. And I'm going to turn these into components as well. So that'll be a button. And on this one, on the overstate of this one, all I'm going to do is just change the opacity just a little bit. So I'm going to just make it a little less opaque. Or even, I could even make it more opaque. Actually, that might work pretty well with these. Same thing here. I'm going to select that button, make it a component, or that component, make it a button. In fact, here's actually a good choice for us to delete that and use the other one. But I'm going to keep the artwork as it is because I don't want to accidentally move it. Anyway, I'm going to make this a button. I'm going to go to the overstate and I'm going to change the opacity and make it greater. Now I can go to the other sections that I need, but in order to make those sections, I should go ahead and make the states that I'm going to need. So I'm going to duplicate this state, and I'm going to duplicate it 4 times because I have 3 paintings right now. If I look in here, I have 3 paintings, and then I have the Biography as well. That's a total of 4 states. So there's painting 1, which I already named, so this should be painting 2. Painting 3, and bio. Alright, now all I need to do is turn on and off the elements that need to be turned on for each state. In painting 1, the only thing that we want on is painting 1, and then we're also going to turn off the buttons. The problem that I have right now that I just realized is my buttons for these things are maybe in the wrong, oh, they're right there, right in front of me. So let's turn off the left button because I don't want that on at this point. On painting 2, let's turn off painting 1 and 3, so it's just painting 2. On painting 3, I'm going to have, let's see, just painting 3 on, and I'm not going to have the right hand button turned on. Now we should also point out that during all of this time, we should have the properties set for the button to disabled. That way it appears blue the entire time. Now I'm going to go to Biography, turn off all of the painting information at once, and turn on the Biography information. Now this one's a little trickier. Also, we should make our button disabled, so it now turns blue. And we need to make a couple components here. So we're going to be making a scroll bar component first. So we'll select the scroll bar and the thumb and choose to make this a scroll bar component, vertical scroll bar. Now we need to edit the parts. So I can go inside of it, and the very first part will be the thumb, and the second part will be the track. Now we can come back, select our text and the scroll bar together, and convert this to a scroll panel. Now I want to edit the parts, select the text, and choose to make that the scrolling content. Now you'll see that it's kind of given me a little bit of a drop shadow kind of look inside there, because that's basically the mask for that content. Now I'm going to double click to go inside of it, and you'll see this text appears here that says add more content. Let me delete that and just take this text box and drag it down. And what I'm going to do is reveal all the rest of the content that's there. So that's pretty much all I need right there, just to take it down to the bottom. And now I can double click outside of it, and you'll see that the scroll bar or the scrolling content is going to be only inside that area. And now we can go back to the main level, and we've pretty much done everything that we need to do. Just so we can see what it looks like, I'm going to go to the bio and make that the most current page, or let's say the default page, because it is the first button anyway. So it should be my default style, or my default state. So I'm going to right click on it, set this as the default state, and you can barely see that there is a black dot there. And let's test this with Control Enter and see how we've done. Now you'll see we've come to the biography page. None of the other ones work right now because even though it is a button, we haven't given it any interaction. However, our scroll bar and the content should be scrolling here, and that works really, really well. So let's go back, and in the next tutorial we're going to do the interaction and the transitions for our project.